मैं एलेना हूँ, मैं इटली से हूँ, वेनिस से, और मैं भारत में 10 साल से रहती हूँ, दिल्ली में 8.5 साल से. So the plan is to have this batua risotto. You know, risotto is a very famous dish in Italy.
Did you just say batua risotto?
Yes, batua is.
That's even a thing.
That's a thing.
कहते हैं कि अगर जिंदगी में कुछ चेंज ना हो रहा हो तो देखने का नजरिया ही बदल लेना चाहिए. अब वैसे तो दिल्ली में काफी कुछ देख चुका हूं, बट आई थॉट इट विल बी इंटरेस्टिंग टू एक्सपीरियंस इट थ्रू द आईज ऑफ एन इटालियन एक्सपैट.
When I came to stay in India permanently, I decided not to do the graphic design job anymore, or at least for a long period of time, which is still on, because I spent too many years sitting in front of a computer. There was this ad, no? We are looking for new guides for these bicycle tours. So I thought this is interesting. Started doing that, and I realized that I enjoy a lot sharing, what I know, and making people feel comfortable in India, because sometimes they come and they're scared of.
Yeah, it tends to get too
itself, they ask me
overwhelming.
if they can go to the loo, which is still inside the airport. So it's challenging, and I enjoy that. When people come to Delhi, especially if they stay for a couple of days because they have the flight coming here, they feel that they want to run away from Delhi as soon as possible. And I would like to make people understand that you can easily spend 2 weeks in Delhi and enjoy the city and find out things that you can never imagine, no?
Elena then takes me to Humayun's tomb that she knows like the back of her hand.
So Humayun, as everybody knows, was the second Mughal emperor, and he came into power in 1530. This monument has been built later, after 9 years of his death, by his wife Hamida Begum. The last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Zafar II, came and hid in this tomb. The real tomb is not what we see when we enter on the top, but the real tomb is Nietzsche,
Underground. Acha, I need to ask you one thing. That how do you know all this?
I'm curious by nature. When you live in a place, you take everything for granted, and you are more into your daily life. But if you come from outside and you start breathing the air here, you cannot resist. You have to dig and find out these things. And once you start digging, it's never ending.
It's never ending.
Because daily, really, every day you can find something new.
So now after all these years, is Delhi as much a home as is Italy or as is Venice?
I would say more home.
Really?
Because if someone asks me, are you at home or are you going home, I think about Delhi.
बट हिस्ट्री के अलावा क्या पिछले 10 सालों में फूड के साथ भी एक कनेक्शन? सो आर यू स्टिल अ पास्ता पर्सन, या यू आर एज मच अ दाल चावल और चिकन टिक्का एंड बिरयानी पर्सन एज वेल?
It's equal. It's equal. And also something which I developed, it's a kind of a fusion way of cooking. Because if I want to cook proper Pacca Italian food, then I need ingredients or flavors which are not always available.
Yeah.
But nowadays, again, one of the new things in Delhi is that you can get almost whatever you want, but you have to pay. And I'm not ready to pay for that.
हुमायूंस टूम से जुड़ी कुछ और कहानियां सुनने के बाद अब बारी थी कुछ इंडो इटालियन फ्यूजन खाने की.
But how do auto wala or sabzi wala react over here when you speak in Hindi?
You know, when you are sitting with an auto wala who he's very talkative, and then he'd start asking where are you from and all these things. So we have a long conversation, like 20-25 minutes. And then in the end, they're happy. मैं खुश था कि हम करो बात करना. So that is nice. And there was a very fun. There was a sentence in the book I remember, which was just to make feel as easy with Hindi. ये केले काले हैं.
ये केले काले हैं.
So I remember that I was walking in Connaught Place. There was one lady sitting on the floor and selling only kele. This sentence from the book came in my mind. So I looked at the kele and I said, "ये केले काले हैं." And she started screaming and shouting at me, "ये केले काले हैं." So she reacted very badly. And I thought, so the plan is to have this batua risotto. You know, risotto is a very famous dish in Italy.
Did you just say batua risotto?
Yes, batua is.
That's even a thing.
That's a thing, but we start from risotto, which is a very common dish in
No, but
Italy.
seriously,
but
it's
batua
difficult-
risotto doesn't
It's
exist.
difficult to wrap my head around it. But I have two doubts. Number one, how do you know about batua? And number two, again, how do you know about batua? Seriously, you're the batua and risotto.
See, what happened that a few years ago I went to my regular sabji wala in Krishna Market in Rajpal Nagar, Sanjay, and it was winter, and he had this green
Leafy
leaves
vegetable,
of
kuch, हाँ.
different kind.
Right.
And then I asked, what is this? And he said batua, and to me it was like nothing. So, but
Roman.
luckily I had my smartphone and I started googling batua, and batua was coming up with the sag. No, you
True,
can
that's how
make
I
the sag
recall
with
batua.
with the batua. Then I took a leaf of batua and I started smashing it and smelling it, and that brought me back to my bachpan childhood.
Wow.
So I remember that when we used to spend holidays in the countryside as kids, my mother, my auntie, my other auntie, so they used to go and collect this wheat, grass, wild
Herbs
leaves,
and leaves and yeah.
and used to make a risotto. So I thought you're not going into the sag, you're going into a patila, and you will become a risotto. And this,
No, this
I
is,
tried and I liked it.
No, it's seriously awesome to know that two so I would say so different cuisines, and yet you were able to find a fusion between the two of them, and something as innate or something as Indian as batua with risotto. तो आज कुछ interesting होने वाला है यार, for sure.
तो बस जहां एक तरफ रिजोटो बन रहा था, वहीं ऑन द अदर एंड इट वाज अ बिगनिंग ऑफ सम न्यू फ्रेंडशिप.
Pretended she remembered me, I don't think she did. And then after that, I was like, this is it. I can't be humiliated more. And I was like, because Elena was in the front.
Thank you so much for a wonderful day.
I know.
And
To Elena.
to Elena, to
To you all.
such great company,
I know. It is.
to
Thanks to you.
to Italy, to India,
To Batua.
to Batua. How can we forget that? To Batua and everything in between.
Cheers.
So yeah, cheers to many more adventures to come.